Hello everyone, my name is Martin, and in this tutorial I will show you how to configure player shops. So, as you can see, we are in the Atavism standalone editor now, and player shops are configurable in the items section. You can find it in the item group and then click on the items module. By default in Atavism there are two items with player shop configurations, so let's narrow it down to these two items. Let's put the phrase shop, and we have two player shops. So with the first one, our player will become our shop, and with the second one we will instantiate an NPC that will sell or buy goods for us. So let's check this NPC configuration first. And here we have player shop section. We have just 6 fields here. First field is number of slots, and this defines how many items our shop can sell or buy. Then we have NPC template, and this is the list from the mob templates. So as you can see, we have NPC and bomber bags, which come by default within Atavism. Then we have shop tag and number of shops. These two fields are connected with each other, so we can define number of shops that our player can have, and this can be in correlation with shop tag. So we can have, for example, one shop with this tag and 3 shops with another tag, if we would have another shop configuration with another NPC. So basically our player can have more than one shop at once, and you can define how many of these shops the player can have. Then we have shop timeout, and this timeout is in minutes and defines how long the shop will remain in the world after we will create it. And the last parameter is shop destroy and logout, and this means if the shop should be destroyed on logout or not. These 5 parameters, except player slots, work only in situation where we don't have mob template defined here, because when we would use our own character for our player shop, we wouldn't have to define number of shops because we know that we have only one character. There is no timeout because we know that the shop should remain as long as we are in the game, and the same, the shop shouldn't be kept on the server because when we are logging out, our own character should be destroyed, right? So these 5 parameters rely on the first one, this mob template. So let's check the second configuration. And the second configuration is player self shop. So this is our own character that is selling an item for us. So we have similar configuration, we have 5 slots, and the rest of the configuration, as I mentioned before, doesn't matter because we are not using shop mob template here. So now let's switch to the Unity editor and let's see this configuration in action. So here we have the second part of our configuration. We are in the animation controller, and this animation controller is provided by default also in the Atavism package. You can find it in Assets, Dragon Sun, Atavism Objects, and directly here you should have Animation Controller. So if you will double click it, it should be opened, and we have Animator window here. If you won't have this window open, you can open it by clicking Window, Animation, and here we have Animator. So as you can see, we have Animation Controller, and in the right section we are providing by default configuration for player shops. We have transition from idle using this arrow, and as you can see we have player shop parameter. When this parameter is true, we are transitioning to sit down animation. Then this animation is transitioning to basically simple sit down, and then we have another transition to stand up. And this transition is based on player shop parameter as well, but when this parameter player shop will be false. And of course this player shop parameter can be found in the parameters section in our animator. In the very bottom section we have player shop parameter of type bool. So this player shop parameter will be set to true wherever we are setting our store or instantiating an NPC to sell goods for us. So let's check it in game. Now as you can see we have two characters in our game. So we have our own player Atavism 01 and the second one Atavism 10. So we will set our store with our Atavism 01 character. So let's open our backpack and we will use these items that are provided by default in Atavism. So first we will set our store as our own character. So let's click on the item and let's drag something that we want to sell. Now let's set the price and set a shop description. Let's say I want to sell bag of goods. And let's click create. So as you can see, our player invoked our animation transitions that we set. We have description of our store above our player's head. I want to sell bag of goods, and we can cancel this shop by clicking this icon in the right section and by confirming it. So let's do it now. And now as you can see we don't have our bag of goods in our inventory. So Atavism server will mail these items and currency that we will get from other players, and we will use our mailbox to get them. So let's click on this mailbox icon. And then we can see that we have one store mail with our bag of goods inside. So we can take them and we can delete this mail. Now let's set our store using an NPC. So we will use this player shop instead. Let's click on it. Let's drag the same bag of goods. And let's set the price. So we have description, but now instead our player we are instantiating an NPC that we defined, and this NPC is also invoking the same animation in this case, but it can be something totally different. This NPC can be any model of your choice. And now let's switch to this Atavism 10 player. So now we are on our second player, and as you can see, we have our another player shop. We can click on it, and now we can purchase items from it. So let's try it. And as you can see, we have items instantly. NPC was removed because it didn't have any items for sale anymore. And this player doesn't have any mail. Let's switch for the second one. And now we should have the same email but with currency from our store. So as you can see, we have 1 bronze. So let's take it. And that's pretty much it. That's all for this part. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Atavism YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be alerted when new videos on Atavism are released. Have a great day and happy developing.